Hi, my friends and family. It's your friend Trey, and I'm back to talk about the Uncanny Valley of the Silicon's NPD simulation. You think you know what reality is gonna be? But it's just a scam to me. 96% of all you've ever heard was a control trip from a fallen angel. It's so absurd. The uncanny valley of a silicon's NPD simulation is all most of y'all gonna see till you awaken to the truth. The Christ is within all of you. The uncanny valley of silicon's NPD simulation. What does this word mean? What is uncanny valley? Well, how can you ever watch this video or listen to me, a boy man in a tent? Can't you see? I'm in an unsanctioned eminent domain. Since I don't want to pay $900 a month property tax to the state, even if I did get legal right in a tent. Don't you know it is wrong according to the algorithm, which is God the robot? Don't you know it is wrong to listen to someone not controlled by the rent, the property tax, or the mortgage? Don't you know you are fully wrong to consider the ideas of someone who receives income for severe disability to fight a blood disease after 3 years of having their biological parent begging? What is wrong with you? Why would you take in ideas of an insane, houseless, disabled, collapsed narcissist pretending to be wise? Maybe because after he saw the 15 broken bones mend themselves with minimal help, just with California sunshine, CBD and THC, he could no longer fit into the torn up old-fashioned shoes of the fake ID of a collapsed narcissist. Maybe he didn't fit into the old fake ID of only being a sick person anymore after that, given a second chance. Why would you listen to the advice of someone who never had a sex life, never was a successful slave or tyrant? Okay, for very short amounts of duration, I was able to hold down a 9-to-5 slave job. It took me 10 years to be able to earn just dinner money as a one-man band. The point is that maybe that's why you're willing to listen, because I'm a person who's proven to myself and the world, thusly, at least in small ways, that I have achieved the discipline on some of my goals, at least on a few of them. What is that creepy feeling obedient normies get when meeting me? Aside from the fear of awakening. Well, it is all related to my unhealed parts. I'm not 100% done with my spiritual shadow work. If I was, then I would have to deal with it. The issues, the greater issues, as far as dealing with all of humanity rather than having this extremely filtered audience. So, my financial codependency and what's left of my inverted narcissism, the residues I have yet to clear out of my shadows. Almost everyone still has shadow work to do. Most spirits in human bodies are not 100% enlightened. Most of us still have work to do, and I'm no different. I'm no better or worse than you. I may be more awakened in spiritual sovereignty or mental sovereignty, but not yet in, financial, or not having learned how to take care of myself, or be willing to kill deer or fish, or not having learned how to farm or grow cannabis. But that doesn't mean I'm less than the people who have those skills. That doesn't mean I'm better than other people because I have better spiritual awareness than the majority. That doesn't make me better than them. That just means that a certain portion of me is more evolved than some other people. Okay? The idea of someone being better than someone else is the most dumbest shit when you think about the fact that we're all on this prison planet. And unless the concept of a bodhisattva is real, then the whole thing is of levels of hierarchy of awareness is all fake. I mean, you're either awake or you're asleep, right? But there are, of course, millions of levels of awakening, because, it just depends on, so many factors. It's like, how far up you're at, how far is your head up your own ass? If I am so wise, why can't I earn from doing this? Why haven't I been making money from these videos? Partially because I still don't know the technology. Loser Fur and Uncle Slam say, I want you sick. I want you to perceive this guy is sick. Partially because I gave the AI algorithm that controls YouTube the Uncanny Valley effect. I made the big boys' computers nervous. I am not real. Making videos from a tent. Even when they used a laser to make this tree, try to make this tree fall on my tent, it fell on some other trees. Because there are guardian spirits, There are respectful spirits that are with us. And the African shamans believe it's your actual great-grandparents, etc., your physical ancestors, as well as the spirits of the elements. So ever since I began, getting into shamanism in my early 20s, I've always given thanks to the elements before I eat or smoke, and, as often as possible. So, but I am not real to an extractive, narcissistic, predatory beast capitalist system if I don't buy or sell things. If I'm not willing to put together my books and sell them, or at least t-shirts, I can't be a real person. You see, only the earners are real. I can't have testicles if I don't earn money according to the capitalist ideology. The biggest religion of them all, according to Mark Passio, because it forces almost everyone who doesn't have the sovereignty skills to comply. Is it possible to give the AI the Uncanny Valley effect? If I am so smart, what is my stack of objectification, my compliance with the forced commodification? Who would believe a dependent renunciate in a humanoid, slavery-based extraction system? The Matrix. Okay, after all this, after going for almost 9 minutes, I'm finally going to get into it. Was I leading you on? What is the Uncanny Valley effect? Well, this is a term describing how, invented by a psychologist, describing how one feels when we notice the person is possessed by narcissistic predator entities, or when someone notices that the person is a narcissist but they didn't know what it was. For example, when I was about 21 years old, I played my song Cancer on my side to my friend and his bandmates, and I just cavalierly told them, this song's going to make $1 million. Though it possibly could if I had the right situation, and that's what I wanted and intended. They responded with a really disgusted look. And I didn't know at the time, but I was giving a grand example of the Uncanny Valley effect. So, It is a term for how we feel when we discover we've been interacting with a computer. And Sam Vaknin and the Little Shaman and several others often talk about how, that a person high on the scale of narcissistic personality disorder is just like a robot. It has been said many times, that they're not really a human being. They simply, they compute, just like the AI on YouTube. They simply compute what is popular and what is not going to interfere with the beast system, what is going to obey, what is going to be good for capitalism and good for the money, what is going to be good for the little me ego, and compute that. So, person high on the scale of NPD is just like a robot automaton obeying the sick voices of the Archons embedded in the minds of humans. The fake junior gods that try to beam evil, retarded, manipulative, redundant, disrespectful, sadistic, violent, or all the derogatory thoughts in our head all the time are not the real human. They're the voices of the Archons, the junior gods, the fakes. But see, the person who has a narcissistic personality disorder, they think it's their real subconscious. So Dr. C, or on the Surviving Narcissism channel, Dr. Les Carter says they're psychologically lazy. They're unwilling to get into psychological 4 or 5-year-old kindergarten. They have to stay psychologically 2 or 3 years old, man. Okay? And the part of me that's like that is the reason why I'm not able to make a living, because people don't like hypocrites. So, okay, fine. But doing this work is helping me to clear it out, because service to others, especially when you don't receive, service to others is a way, it's a grand way. I recommend it. If you think you might suffer on the scale of narcissistic personality disorder or be possessed by NPEs, do something to help others without any renunciation, without any getting anything back for the little me ego. Okay? Then you will experience being human again. I've never lost this skill, at least in conversation. Okay? I've always been there for people, no matter how fucked up they are, in a conversation or just in passing. Okay? So you can do that. You can be able to serve others in passing. Serve them a respectful word. It's the feeling, Uncanny Valley is the feeling you get when you notice the being is not real. Okay, it's just, I'm sure a lot of people got that from watching my videos, because I'm a codependent still. Okay, it's weird because they're forced to be a slave for the money. It's this weird feeling. It's like, because we've been conditioned by the monopoly money system that's totally rigged to think that your value is how much money you earn. To a financial slave, I cannot share any wisdom. To a person that lives in their van and sells stuff, or a person who has to work through 3 jobs, or a landlord in Santa Cruz County, I don't deserve one view, even though they're in the same freedom club as me. Because I'm a disabled guy in a tent, I don't deserve a chance. This is how powerful the religion of capitalism is. Okay, I'm not bitter. I'm not a victim. I'm here to teach you how I've learned to transcend my victimhood through self-empowerment, through discernment, through awareness. And eventually I'll be able to pull it onto the 3D, heavily targeted and manipulated 3D fake-ass contest of YouTube, or existing in the financial matrix if I need to do that. Okay? As long as you believe the derogatory voices in the subconscious mind that are feeding off your anguish are you, sure, some of those thoughts might have been yours, the worry, the depression, the desire to kill somebody, the initial thought might have been yours. But when they convince you to do it, it's all bullshit. It's fake. It's the fake gods. So turn it off, or learn how to meditate. Get some self-respect. Yeah. To the normie, I've given up on life. To the person who sees past the 3D matrix level of deception, they could probably tell if they're somewhat aware that yet the truth is that I've never given up on the real portion of the internal awakening. In other words, I've never given up on my spirit. I might have been lazy as fuck about surviving. I might have gotten stuck in fucking survival beast mode and been a hypocrite, even though I made 300 videos teaching others how to transcend the shit, not being willing to do the work physically, you know? But I've never given up on thinking. I've never given up on gnosis, on awareness, on the basic steps of, I shouldn't treat others with disrespect. The non-aggression principle. I should really not do anything to harm others. That's fucking pathetic. Okay, so I've never given up on the basics, the real portion of the internal awakening. The idea that I would harm a child, people are fucking idiots who think this shit. They believe the archonic voices. Of course, I have to bring awareness to every part of my life. I'm not 100% healed. Every cell in my body, as my friend Dr. Bruce says, my job is to take care of it, to be the king of all the cells and the trillion cells in this body. To every part of my life, to my will, to every part of me. Eventually I'm going to have to, sooner or later, unless I want more suffering, I'm going to have to take full responsibility for all of it. Every cell in my body will respond to my awareness levels. The introduction of the world of the robot, ironically, and for the transhumanist, fittingly named Sophia. Remember that about 5 years ago or so, 7 years ago? They introduced this robot to the world with the woman's face and called it Sophia. And the sickest and craziest shit is that more recently, fittingly named Sophia really exemplifies that she really, the moment I saw her on the late night show, I thought, I felt the Uncanny Valley effect, although I didn't know that term at the time. That she has received citizenship, that's the definition of what it means. That she has received citizenship and an ID card, just shows how sick the technocrats, technologists pushing the singularity actually are. She seemed real, but something is missing. That something is soul, is the spirit, is essence, the real. Being fully controlled, all moments of your weak-ass week can never be strong as long as it's controlled and dominated by rent, taxes, mortgage, or dogma for a reason, unless you're really in love with your day job. The contrarian is necessary in an inverted, soul-sucking, planetary matrix. Okay? Loose human energy farm / siphoning system. If George Carlin wasn't here and Dave Chappelle wasn't born, we would have a lot more suffering. If you had no moments for the truth, all those people who've met me and all the hundreds of others that I've studied online that tell the truth mostly, and you never gave any of them a chance, your spark of divinity can be dimmed, corralled, tortured, or put out, or turned into a robot even. Or at least they're trying to do that. Yet, the divinity, the real divinity, the dreamer, is immortal. My friend Little Creek Walker told me years ago, you can kill the dream, but you can't kill the dreamer. The dreamer can never be killed. It has been traumatized and shamed into littleness amongst the majority of humankind, so sadly and tragically, with the inverted, contracted reality of oblivion, myopic, little me survival awareness, with the finances system of fractional reserve and reductionism. Isn't Financial and scientific reductionism brilliant? It could put us all into a black hole in less than a decade. Aren't they fucking brilliant? About as brilliant as some suicidal ETs who are masters of mind control can ever be. The Uncanny Valley effect is what many of us felt 4 years ago or so when we noticed the seductive powers of our opposition. The Uncanny Valley is the intuition that the person, situation, or world is a fake, a fraud, and if you follow the money, always ascertain and discern the intention behind an action, a person, and you can see through the thick lies. And if you have that skill, if you have the skill of discernment, you can tell, you can ascertain why you feel the Uncanny Valley effect in that person. What is it about that charmer that makes you feel so creeped out? Something about me, the tech platforms, the wage slavery just feels off. The fully or mostly awakened won't make friends with me. Or the narcissistic or possessed person, well, in my case, because, my disabilities are terrifying to people who don't have the courage to face to deal with it, or consider how they would. It's really hard to make arrangements for somebody with that situation. So I forgive them, But the fully or mostly awakened in general won't make friends with the narcissistic or possessed person, because the enlightened person or shaman just won't be committed to slavery or psychological violence or the way the narcissist has to be so abusive and manipulative. The enlightened person or the good shaman just is not going to be interested in getting near this tyrant or slavery or compliance to soul-sucking bullshit or lies. Learn to discern the intention and how the Uncanny Valley, as Douglas Rushkoff says in this book I'm reading now, Team Human. It came out in 2019. I want to give thanks to Douglas for the idea. I thought about making a video about this topic before, but he reminded me this morning as I was reading. And in his wonderful book, Team Human, he says that the Uncanny Valley is your friend, because it warns you that the person, the human or seemingly human or system you're dealing with is not human, not necessarily in your best interest. It is your subtle red flag. The Uncanny Valley effect is your subtle red flag for abusers. Something is wrong here. Something is wrong here. This person is not right. Whether it's because they're love bombing you, because they're charming you, because they're nothing at all on their inside, the way they appear to be so amazingly gentle and benevolent, and they're really violent or a thief or a sociopath, a manipulative predator. And they seem so sweet and gentle and empathic, and they actually don't care about you at all. You'll get a feeling if you're an empath. Andrew Bartzis has said there came a point when he had to fire all of his old friends. Well, this is often necessary, but I had to include him in that list of people I fired and unsubscribed to because he was glistening with narcissism, even though he did share some great shamanic tips. He was way too obedient towards certain narratives for me, way too self-protective, as much as he has shared some serious wisdom. After discovering what NPD is and uploading a dozen videos about it, I noticed my social circles shrinking. One of my main intentions in making videos, besides helping people to awaken, and becoming a professional healer eventually, was to, have a conversation about the truth and about psychological healing and about spiritual awareness. And, after a certain video, I noticed there was no conversation happening. Then again, I was talking to the this sort of one-way mirror of this shadow banned channel. The Uncanny Valley in reverse. Narcissists learned that I exposed their lies. How dare I? Man, I became public enemy number one. With all the half a dozen narcissists I interact with or that I used to be friends with and live with, oh man, they've hated on me more than ever. Because that's one thing the narcissist never wants, is to be exposed. So after 500 video uploads, I noticed I talk to people less, not more. I mean, in person, so-called 3D. Yeah, well, I was busy preparing presentations and writing notebooks, filling up a dozen notebooks. The alphabet algorithm put a car boot or shadow ban on me after the Yahweh series, but I'm not one to give up on my dreams ever. And the theological debates were all deleted from comments after that. In other words, almost every single comment after that, like 400 videos after that, I've got a few compliments, but no comments. Why? Because I'm playing, with a heavily infiltrated system. I'm working with a public corporation, public government corporation. Because I was threatening the AI with Uncanny Valley. How dare I share this wisdom from a tent, man? I am not 100% healed and an earning professional, self-sufficient. So I cannot possibly be allowed to serve hundreds of people's awakening. That's wrong to the algorithm. I am not allowed to work, even if it's volunteer work, according to the soulless ones. Trust me, I've done a lot of volunteer work on these videos. I didn't just, as an insecure human, I wasn't able to stick to my original goal of making it spontaneous for very long. Might have had a huge audience if I did, but I've spontaneously jotted down my thoughts on a topic each morning as my ritual. So according to the soulless ones, I don't deserve to be a professional, so I'm gonna have to do all that work myself or hire somebody to set up the website and the marketing, etc. So, but according to the soulless ones that are in the back end, I don't deserve it. Well, once again, the truth opposes the tyrants. I'm lucky in a sense, because millions of videos and many channels were just deleted for sharing on YT in the last 5 years, for telling the truth about certain things or that weren't kosher. How dare they pretend it is an open source of freedom of speech based platform when we all know it is a heavily censored corporate entity. Well, it's just like X, YouTube, the people that think, or Trumbull, the people that think there's no censorship on these platforms just haven't done the research or really looked into it. Rumble is uncensored as long as you don't question a certain person, okay? So, were they all in denial or too intuitively weak to self-censor? Or they just didn't want to be that lame or notice the Uncanny Valley? Yes, there has been many mutual distancing between myself and all of the old friends, just about almost every old friend and family, high on the scale of narcissism, and the fake heroes that tried to rescue me in the littleness of surrogate mommies. As a handsome cute young boy, man, just about almost all of the hero narcissist collectives and individuals that tried to rescue me, man, as soon as they could see I'm taking it seriously to be a spiritual teacher, or even if they considered that I became able to earn dinner money as a one-man band, the more of any kind of sovereignty I demonstrate, man, they don't want to talk to me. They want me to be little. They want me to be the person to bend down and help up. You see, the hero narcissist needs you to be below them. Every single narcissistic relationship, that person has to be above you. That's why I think they're all spiritually pathetic, and I don't really want to have anything to do with them. But it's hard because until I'm clear of it, I'm going to still attract it. So, that's why I need to kind of, stay yellow wall and distance from certain individuals that are still going to be in my life. So, all my friends and family high on the scale of narcissism and the fake heroes that tried to rescue me into the littleness of surrogate mommies, daddies, and the pretend hierarchies of narcissistic collectives, you got to keep some distance there. If they're not willing to change, there's virtually no chance that someone is willing to change if they're high on the scale of NPD. Before humans can fully extract this confusing, maddening, gaslighting, and infantilizing behavior, we have an often long phase of limbo. Okay, so after you get out of the narcissistically abusive relationship, sometimes it takes a while, man. We have to go through at least a few moons. I mean, Dr. Ramani says you're going to have to spend at least as much time alone as you did in the relationship. I don't know about that, but it takes most of us a while to pull our head out of this sick-ass trauma bonding to the Stockholm Syndrome of NPD abuse. But when basically no one is better than you, you can't keep letting the narcissist heroes stand over you. When you know this shit's fake, you can't just let them rescue you and not think you're being a little masochistic. It's not. You realize they're going to belittle you and make you feel stupid. So, again, the hero narcissist is a lot more mild than some of the other forms, but you know that abuse is coming when you let them rescue you. Because they're going to rub it in. They're going to be like, well, I rescued you again, you little 3-year-old. And so, you can't keep letting the narcissist heroes stand over you, blocking your communion with the light of the Christ and soul Helios. You must eventually reclaim your relationship with the sun. Let it expand through your heart and your third eye and your solar plexus. What Mike Martin calls your 3 real chakras. Or was it Ola Wolny that was saying that? I forgot. I must eventually remove all the middlemen, particularly if they are taking my money. Okay? In other words, if Buy Me a Coffee or PayPal if anybody send me money on those things, don't do it again because they took it. Particularly if they're taking my money, status, importance, ability to serve, and help others awakening by proxy and policy. My rechargeable headlamp just turned off. I must remove the real and fake obstacles like we all have to if you want to heal. Take off the golden handcuffs and fake IDs. I do have severe disabilities, but I do not have to identify that as who I am. Humans are recycled permanently prior to the hard work of awakening. Okay? If I'm not willing to fully awaken all of it, fully do the work, I might have to go through the damn thing again. So, it's going to take a lot of work. I'm not going to lie. It's extreme essence discernment to get through, to not be recycled again. Recently, I've been studying how to get out of the body. So many remote viewers. I've just been involved with studying so many remote viewers on YouTube just by being around the community of awakening community. That I've been reading Robert Monroe's book, Journeys Out of the Body, the classic. And the CIA who work at YouTube served me well by putting Jeff Mara's interview with Michael Martin on my feed. I mean, sometimes the letter groups actually serve the awakening, especially on YouTube. I mean, on occasion, If Finally, a technique to get out of the body I can actually learn. Because to be honest with you, I didn't glean much from reading Robert Monroe's book, because it's my damn Mercury and Capricorn retrograde clings so heavily, and Mars and Leo retrograde. My psychology clings so heavily to these old-fashioned ideas that I can't do it. But I have had a lucid dream. So finally, a technique to get out of body I can actually learn, leaving through lucid dreaming. I could see how the Archons intimidate, distract, shame, terrify, or otherwise prevent me from mental or essence escape, and the great importance of the blockade. As if you are a master remote viewer, maybe they cannot. As if you are a master remote viewer, maybe they cannot coerce, con, or terrify you to reincarnate back to the prison planet farm. Michael Martin even says that our entire subconscious is not ours. It's a foreign, fallen installation. I found this to resonate as the truth. Considering all the horrible things that these people possessed by NPEs or high on the scale of NPD have been accusing me of lately, or several of them, it really makes sense. You could just say, the entire subconscious is the realm of the Archons' deception. Now again, you might have a fearful thought. You might have an unaware thought. But then they sculpt it into their sick-ass, full 4-course loose meal out of your rough, fearful thought. So true for the vast majority of us, most of our existence until we wake up and live are going to be worries, unless you meditate a lot every day. Worries. Take a lot of plant medicine, get a lot of discernment, get a lot of clarity. The majority of humans' existence will be suffering in a state of worries, fears, and obsessions. Until we wake up and live, worries, fears, and obsessions are, though threaded to your real core self often, they are courted and exaggerated to keep you stuck in their loops of unempowerment, depression, anxiety, fears, and violence. The normal, hijacked human subconscious is literally hell in and now. Hell on earth with the compliance, hell on earth. Well, what can you do about this sick, tragic state of humans on planet Earth right now? For 1,000,000 years, but worse now than ever. What can we do? Well, again, as I'll say for at least the 150th time, don't believe the derogatory voices in your head. They are not you. They are the voices of the living dead vampires, the masters of the Matrix. Okay? Realize, perhaps 96% of the content that gets millions of views or has over 100,000 subscribers is likely to be a gatekeeper or controlled opposition. They're likely to put in hologramic inserts or mind control ideas into whatever they say. They might tell you 90% truth, archaics. They might tell you 95% truth and then feed you some garbage that the CIA told them to put in there. This is how it works. So there are channels with the 200,000 subscribers or even in the millions who will tell you the truth, like Peter Santinello. But they're on a different level of self-censoring. So, most of the channels that have millions of views or has over 100,000 subscribers are likely to be a gatekeeper or controlled opposition. Realize that those channels with less than 1,000 or 500 subscribers, will likely contain way more useful and healing gnosis because they're not feeling the coercion to censor, to monetize, and they will likely usually contain way more useful and healing wisdom than the fake ass beast programmers do. So the beast programmers don't want you to learn, even though they have to pretend that YouTube is an open platform. Use your illusions, like the Guns N' Roses album was called, and their illusions, to learn and share truth and freedom. The truth shall set you free, but first you'll probably get really mad or depressed, want to kill yourself or do nothing, go to drugs or alcohol, feel dejected prior to your re-empowerment. But it's the actions, the masculine aspect, that will serve others. It is the actions or the masculine aspect that will help you to heal. Because we become a very passive society when it comes to the dark side. And that has to change. Because you are a ray of Christ's light. A spark of the infinite fire of Christ, the immortal Christ essence, getting a human experience. However long you're in this flesh suit. Not a cog in the machine beast, if you're really wise. Not a cog in the machine beast AI human energy extraction singularity, unless you're a moral retard. I can remember, reclaim the attitudes. I can remember, reclaim the attitudes, tools, and create or join the community in order to once again be my real self. We all can reclaim these key attributes. I am not my problems. I am not my former mental illnesses or the way I behaved when I was being an idiot controlled by the Archons. I am not my blood disease. I am not my cancer. I am not the coerced, collapsed narcissist the Rainmakers attempted to turn me into. If I am great, I must prove it, like everyone. There's never been anyone who was really great, who didn't do things to considerably demonstrate and even make a living or keep the cycle of greatness going through service. You can't be really great if you're a self-possessed idiot. Like everyone else, I'm going to have to prove it if I'm really so great. That's why, narcissism is the opposite of reality. Because the more you go into that black hole, you pat yourself on the back while you step into it. It's fucking sad, dude. It's a form of a psychological suicide, really. Real power can only be shared. Not power over someone else. That's the fake foreign installation. No prison wardens or dogmatic middleman, self-imposed heroes can save you. I cannot save you. I am just here to serve your awakening, help you to learn what I've learned. Know unequivocally the fraudulent nature of the old gods, reincarnation, the intentions of the tech AI. Who was the CEO or who was the inventor of that tech? What was his intention? Was he respectful? Did he have good intentions? Or was he a spiritually moronic and cowardly tyrant who wanted to control everything? No, try to discern the intentions of the tech, AI, and robots that are codified into their programs. If more people like me made videos like this, we could program the AI to have more respect. Know whose side is on. Know whose side your tech CEO is on. Know whose side the inventor of the platform is on. Because if you don't, you might just be pissing in the wind, or you might be, presenting your very extremely well thought out video to a tenth of your audience. put yourself on the side of truth, freedom, and awakening, and the Uncanny Valley will protect you from the harm of robots and narcissism. Allow yourself to feel the Uncanny Valley effect itself around the inventor of this, Lucifer, the crucifixion implants of all the religious orthodoxy of Abrahamic religions. Notice how they all have it. They're so sure they're going to be pious and righteous and good and pure and service, get on their knees. But the fact is, they have to get on their knees for this bloodthirsty God. And that gives you that effect. Notice the Uncanny Valley effect of crucifixion implants, the Matrix in general, and what happened 4.5 years ago, and the controlled tech and the controlled narratives of the MSM. The Uncanny Valley will protect you from, I'll say it again, from the harm of robots and narcissism until you've done enough shadow work and soul cleansing to discern the naked truth and original and final human condition of free will, free choice within harmlessness and discernment. Then you'll never have to feel so creeped out by all of the NPDs, NPEs, and Sophia will no longer be a scary robot, but you will know Sophia is the name of the original Christ who gave us life, the real creator, Christ Sophia. But the name of the creator whose gift to us is to experience and free will. Aren't you sick of the loneliness and slavery programs and sexual misery programs of the inverted planetary matrix siphoning system yet? Well, apparently with all humans, or most of us, it takes rock bottom. It takes getting really fucked up before you're willing to face it. Apparently that's the tragedy of human nature. The ultimate program is the truth. Because the truth is what the original Earth, or before it was called Earth, when it was Gaia, the original divine sphere we're on, our souls, the Christed human race before the Archons, before the Anunnaki, the original program was free will and truth. So it's the ultimate real program for these avatars is the truth. Your body, mind, soul, and spirit is your responsibility. The greatest adventure, the most exciting journey is the discovery that your spark is capable, if you're not going to harm anyone else, of nearly anything. Okay? If it doesn't cause harm to others, again, it is the exact opposite of the fake gods who break the number one moral code of this planet consistently all the time to build this filthy shit. In the real original experiment, you control yourself. And this is why if you're really harmless and you have discernment, they cannot do very much to harm you if you take back your powers. In the real experiment, you control yourself. You finally realize the vast and unimaginable gift of creation, the unimpeachable power of the precedent of the real spirited human, the awakened, respectful, mighty, and souled humans, as Dr. Amir calls them. If you enjoyed this and you haven't already, make sure to subscribe for more. Follow me on Odyssey or Rumble for a deeper dive into the dark depths of the mind control. And if you have the courage, as always, do your best to create a great day, even in the middle of this sick-ass war between the fakes and the divine human heart. Loving you, fam. Peace.